Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to my channel, Southern Yankee Beauty. So today you're going to see me create this beautiful wearable daily look using the Natasha Denona Bloom palette. So this palette comes in this package, which I guess this design is a watercolor art that Natasha Denona herself painted. Doesn't look too hard to paint, but I paint, so just looks like, you know, throwing paper down, throwing a brush down, but pretty colors. And I guess it's supposed to represent like the petals of the flowers. You get 15 shades in here. This is a collection of what kind of, you know, peachy, pinky colors. You do have a darker plum shade here. You've got a little bit more of an auburn shade, and then this is the darkest shade to me, though on the eye. That's what I have on here. It's more of a medium brown on. So these are your deepening shades, and then you've got some pinky mauve shades here. You've got some peach shades here. You're going to hear my thoughts on these three shades here. Not that they're bad, just so this side is more the peach side, and then you lean over like from here over, and you've got a little bit more pink, and then you do have a duochrome shade in here as well. I believe these retail for $68, but I'll double check that. I think they used to be 65. I don't know, but I wanted to do some swatches for you guys. So let's just start with all of the let's go ahead and start with all of our matte shades. So this shade is Petal. This is one of the lightest shades in here. You can barely see it. Let me see if I can turn the lights down a little, if that would help. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a super, super light shade. Next, I'm going in with Keen. Keen is also another peachy shade. Go right next to it so you can see it. So this one brings another level of depth. And then you have Robin, which is even a more darker peach. I don't know why that's swatching funny. There we go. Okay, so those are your first three peach shades. Then we're going to go into sort of the next tones. Ren is like a peach, but with a little bit more mauve or pink in it. And you'll see, you should be able to see that here. This is a gorgeous shade. I actually really love that shade. And then you have Floss, and Floss is getting even darker, but again, still sort of in the pinky, mauve toned category. Okay. And then now we're getting into our much darker shades. So next up we have Clover, and Clover is more of a like a burgundy color. That's Clover. Now going into we have two more dark shades, Brick, but this is like an orangey, kind of an orangey color right there. And then we have our darkest shade, which is Bark. But like I said, on the eyes and even in the swatch, it's more of a medium brown, not so much as a super dark brown. So these, friends, are your matte shades. So I know you can't see this one well, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the rest are going to be shimmers of some sort. So there we go. That is your mattes. I'm going to try to put some of these shiny shades on the same hand. So let me wash my hands. Okay, let's start with this shade here. This one is called Fluorescence. Very pretty. Okay, next up in the same row we have Fleur. Let me swatch it and then I'll show it to you in the pan. This is a much lighter shade. And this one looks to me to have some pink in it. Like a pink and gold almost. Really beautiful. That was Fleur right here. And it's on the pink side. Now we're going into Crisp. Crisp is what I have on my inner corner. Well, I have it up here. It's hard to see right now, but this is the flakiest shade in here. But it's quite beautiful if you take the time. It's got this gorgeous like a champagne color to it. Really, really beautiful, but it definitely is prettier on the eye than it's looking in this swatch. You can feel like you can barely see it in the swatch, but it's there. It's just, let me see if I can deepen it up for you. Yeah, it doesn't do a lot of deepening, but it's pretty on the eye, you'll see. Okay, next up we have Lush, which I'm wearing today. This is a gorgeous shade as well. There you go, that is Lush, very pretty. Next we have Rue, which is like a burgundy metallic. I've used this, oh, I got a chunk of it. I've used this a little bit. And this one on the swatch in the pan looks darker than it actually is. There we go. All right, that was that shade there. And we did that one, and that one. Now we're going down to this one here, which should be darker. That's called Ember. That's significantly darker. Okay, and the last one in here is Equinox, which is this one here. And depending on the light, it's going to look purple or it's going to look like orangey. I'm going to show it to you. Orangey green. There it is. It's really pretty. This is one of my favorites in here. I wish it had a little bit more pop, this one. It's really beautiful and quite sheer. There's not much of a base to it. But there are all your beautiful shades in this palette. Let me back up so you can see it all together. Okay, friends, so that is the new Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I'm going to go through and show you the look that I created. There will be also additional like close-up photos at the end, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on what I think about this palette. Okay, guys, let's get into this first look with the new Natasha Denona Bloom palette. This is her most recent palette that she launched. I've used it. I've had this well over a month. I haven't been able to find time to do it, but let me just show you. It's a very kind of monochromatic, beautiful peachy pink story here. And I think what I'm going to do is start with one of these peach shades. I'm wearing brown, so we'll use brown in the outer corner, and then we'll add a little fun on the lid. I'm not sure what I'm going to do there yet, but let's go ahead and get our base down. So to get started, let's use one of those peachy shades, and I'll tell you what the shade names are and everything as well. Okay, guys, what I did here is I put the color Peachy Keen. We did a little test right here on my lid. And I did that as a starting point just all over, just to see, like, this is technically, aside from like one of the like metallic shades, the lightest shade in here. It's just called Keen, not Peachy Keen. It's just called Keen. But anyway, then what I did, so let me just get that on here and I'll show you. All over the lid. Now they don't look the same, right? And the reason is I went over it with this shade here, which is Robin, because I wanted to see if we needed both these shades in here. And Robin does add some depth. It's definitely got more opacity. I like the Robin shade better than the Keen shade. I would have liked to see more of a cream blending shade for up in the crease instead of Keen, because between these two shades, while they blend absolutely gorgeous together, both of them, in my opinion, were not needed, and we could have used another color in this palette. So that's my first comment about, just so you can see them here, these two shades. I don't think that we actually needed both of those. So, and then you have Petal. Now Petal is even lighter. Let's go in with the, I'll put that up on right under the brow bone. Petal is even a lighter peach, but it does have a little like, maybe like a little bit of a pink hue to it, like a pinky peach. Again, these shades are all so close. They blend really nice together, so they are going to give you a nice blend. But I think, again, we're missing the mark here. I think that's 3 shades that are quite close, and I used a different brush this time. I think that's 3 shades that we really just probably didn't need all 3 of those in here. Okay, next up, we're going to go into Bark, which is the dark shade right here. And I believe this is a pretty nice shade. I can't remember if this was patchy or not, because I've been using the Pat McGrath recently because I'm working with that one and doing some looks for you guys for video with her new Petalmorphosis. So let's try this out. I don't seem to think that this is patchy. It looks nice. So, and because I have hooded eyes, I always go above my crease. And then, so I'm going to do that on both eyes, and then I'm going to go back in with the lightest shade, which is Petal, and blend it all out. So I think I did have a problem with this shade, maybe the first time, but I think I had put something on my eye that I didn't let dry, like a primer or something like that, and it got a little patchy looking. But right now, this is, I think, doing what it's supposed to be doing. It's deepening the eye look, just like we want it. Okay, and I'm not going to worry about this part yet. I'll go back in with that Petal shade, but I want to get the other shades that we have here on the lid. There's a beautiful gold shade in here. There's a couple things we can do, okay? So there's this shade, which is like a very like pinky champagne. There's this pretty gold shade here. There's this shade up here. So I'm just gonna, and then of course we have this shade, which is like a purpley shade, like a purple and orange. And then this other shade, was it Fluorescence? Fluorescence is pretty, but it's more of a like a satin. So these are your, and this one's a little bit more flaky, as you can see. So I'm thinking this gold, maybe with this, like these 2 shades here together. So that would be Crisp and Lush. So let's start with Lush. And Lush is, I'm going to use a little bit of a different brush here. Lush is this shade right in here. So we're going to start here on the outer, and then we'll do this one on the inner. I just want to see how it's going to apply with this brush. And I love Natasha's formula because one thing about her, she's been extremely consistent with her formula. She's changed it up over the years, like different things, but they always have performed. And she's been consistent with like getting her these midi palettes out. Everybody seems to like these midi palettes quite a bit, which is fabulous. That's, oops, we'll go over with a in there a little bit with a brush and the base shade that we used, and we'll clean that up. But she really brings it. Like there's not been the difference in quality and consistency that we've seen recently in Pat McGrath. Now, maybe early on in Natasha's career there was, but we're not really seeing that anymore. Now we're getting a beautiful, beautiful consistency we have for years, and it's just been beautiful. So I'm going back into Robin, which was our little bit of darker peach, and just adding that back in to the crease. And what this is doing is, because I go up higher on my crease so you can see it, is it lets those kind of sparkles that we got there from Lush sort of just blend in and spatter up there naturally, and it's just a pretty, pretty look. And you just do have to keep in mind when she does these monochromatic palettes, that's what it is. All of your looks will they're going to kind of come out the same. You know, you might use some different shimmers here and there, but you're not going to get a huge variety in the change of the colors. All right, now I'm going to go into Crisp, which is this white one. Now for this one, because it is crumblier, I'm going to try using my pinky. Let me just clean it off because I'm on it. and see how the pinky will apply it. Because I think you are going to need to really kind of press this shade onto the lid. Now, if you want to see this shade in action all on its kind of on its own, Morgan Turner did some looks with this palette, and she kind of featured this particular shade to see what it would look like all over the lid, since it's absolutely gorgeous. It's like a beautiful, beautiful light champagne color. And it's sort of like blending right in with, I wonder if it's getting hard pan. That's what I'm worried about. I'm going to try it with a brush and just see if I can get any more up with it, because it's not doing really a whole lot of what I want it to do. So let's try using it with a brush. Might even try wetting it. It's awful pretty. It's like it brings a light to the eye that, there we go. I think you're starting to see it a little bit more now. It brings a beautiful light to the eye. And a beautiful little, it's like really fine sparkles. All right, going back in with Bark over here in our corner. Petal is that really light shade, and I'm just lightly, like I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm going very gently up here. And that gives you a nice blendless seam. So I really like the blend. You can really see how pretty the blend is all the way around. Okay, let's work on the bottom of our eye now. All right. So for the bottom, starting with Bark, the dark. I'm going to stay with this because I want to go into fluorescence and see what this does. So this is right here, another really pretty peachy shade, and go right in here. Shit and giggle. Let's use Equinox, which is this shade. Where is it? This shade down here, which is a gorgeous shade. That's one of the duochromes. Let's use that on the inner bottom of the eye, right in here. And right in the inner corner. Just for a fun little something there. And that you'll really see when I'm in other light. I'm going to take pictures at the end after I get my hair ready. I've got two kitties that just are feral that got fixed in the bathroom last night or yesterday, and so I'm gonna have to go and get all my stuff out of there because they're scared of life right now. The only person they really know is Robert, and they've seen me a couple of times, but they're just a little bit more feral. We've got them a little older than we do normally, so it's taking a while to get them used to it here. And then we're going to find a way to adopt them out. All right, so I'll get pictures of them for you guys too. Going in with a cajole liner on the inner corner. Excuse my eyes, they're bloodshot. I didn't sleep last night at all. So I just had insomnia. All right, so that's gorgeous. All right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put some liner on the top and some lashes. And I'll be right back. You know what? Just for fun, I'm going to go into Ember. Instead of putting a liner on the top, I'm going to go into Ember, which is a metallic right here. I just want to see if I can use that as a kind of like a smudgy liner up here and see what it does. It may ruin the whole look. I'm prepared if that happens. I'll fix it, but I just want to see if it gives me... Okay, it's not doing enough. So what I'm going to do instead is go over with Bark, which is the dark brown, and then maybe put it over the top of that. So I do wish the brown shade in here, it's beautiful. It's like a mid-tone brown, I would say. I wish it was a deep tone, but it's beautiful. Brown is a really great, brown and orange are opposite on the color wheel. So if you have blue eyes like me, this palette is going to be your friend. Even if you have green eyes, I think same. Because this, you can see that these colors really, really make blue eyes pop. Now I'm going back in with Ember and I'm just putting that sparkle in because I kind of just want that like sparkly shadow over the eye without having to put a dark black eyeliner on. That's what I'm trying to avoid today. Also, after I put the mascara on, I am going to go back in and put a little bit more of our Equinox there. So I'll be right back with some liner or lashes. Whatever. Right, while I'm putting this on, guys, I want to figure I'd tell you, I'm not going to be able to link this mascara. I'm on the end of it, but this is a Bobbi Brown mascara. They do not make it anymore. And I know there's, in my eye. It's hard for me to talk and do this at the same time. There's a lot of creators that, are huge and they have all this makeup. And I have a lot of makeup too, but times are tough right now. And I just don't understand. I can't just like throw this out because it's no longer there, and they don't sell it and you can't get it. There's so many mascaras, and I don't know about you, but mascara is one of the things that I use all different types of mascaras. I use really expensive mascaras. I use expensive drugstore mascaras. You can get a good mascara really anywhere. You don't have to pay a lot of money for it. But also sustainability wise, I don't want to just waste my money and not be able to show you guys the stuff that I'm actually using. I'm going to use it up. If I've got it and I paid for it, then, which I don't actually think I paid for this. I think this might have came in a box, but I'm going to use it up. I'm not going to waste it. So, all right. So there are the eyes, my friends. So we're just going to add a little bit more on the inner corner. And you know what I might do to make it a little bit more noticeable is go in with Crisp first, which is the white shade that that's kind of pretty, isn't it? That's a beautiful shade, by the way, Crisp, for the inner corner. We can actually stick that if you want a little bit up here on the brow bone, but it is flaky. So you do have to kind of like press this one in just a little bit more. Okay. This is the only shade that I would say in this palette is a little flaky. But it's such a pretty shade. It's kind of worth it to press it out. Okay. So pretty. All right. Now going over with Equinox on the top for that little, because the Equinox has like a really neat little shift, and it's like a green purple shift, and that's what I want to kind of show. All right. So there is the finished eye look. I got mascara on the top there. I'm seeing what a mess I made of the mascara. So what I'm going to do is just take the brown again. You don't have to fix it all. You don't have to try to like be perfect. I'm not perfect, And so I'm taking the shade Bark, and because I always make a mess. I need like a mascara guard or something. I had one. It was too hard to use. There. That's all you have to do. If you just do what I did. You don't have to ruin your whole look because you made a mistake. This is real life. Not professional. And I don't know about you, but most of us are not professional. My hair, I got to get my hair dry because you can see it's getting curly. All right. So I would like to find a pretty peachy blush. And I had one. Hold on, I'll bring it. I'll see if okay, there, a little more light. All right, we're going to use I think it's DC Cosmetics in Warm Peach right here. And I'm just going to grab, I use like one side for foundation and one side for blush usually. This is a beautiful one. It doesn't stay all day, so I am going to set it with a peachy powder blush, but it's a gorgeous blush. And I wish it did stay on my skin all day, because without putting the powder, I feel like you get a really nice, I don't know, youthful, dewy type of a look. Actually, I feel like now I need to sort of take the lights down once. You can see. Can you see that? I feel like that's a bit better for you guys to see the color of it, but it's a beautiful shade. If you can still get this, I'll link it because it's really great. A little bit on the nose, kind of come in here in the bridge and bringing it in. That'll make your face a little more full. If you just focus here upwards, if your focus is just like right up in here, it's going to pull your cheekbones up. Now I'm going heavy because I feel like my face eats it. And we're not done yet, and I've still got powder and setting spray to put on. Next, this little Milani. This was just like the small size, and this is in, I think it's like Bellissimo or Bellissimo. Hold on. I can't even see it. It's rubbed off on mine. But it's one of their luminoso blushes, and I'll find it, and I will link this for you because this is also a great blush. So I'm going to take a smaller brush here, and I'm not going to, because this is wet, I'm not going to like mess it up. I'm just going to tap it in here and tap the peach shade. Now the Luminoso series does have some like metallic, like a sheen in it. It's not a flat blush, okay? So it'll kind of get everything in there and keep it. And then now we can go ahead and put, I think what I'm going to do next is do powder and then highlight after powder. All right. I'm going to use the, oh, that's messy. I got other powder on here. The glow powder from Hourglass. So this is a glowy powder. Just know that. There's spots you probably don't want to put it like under your eyes. I'm not going to put it under my eyes. I am going to use a different powder for that. But I do want to have a fairly glowy face today, especially because my face has been a little dry. And so if you use a little bit of a glowier, all your products, it keeps your skin a little bit more moisturized. But for me, being 50, it helps with, I'm using Fenty Beauty. It's like a lavender powder, which is really great under the eye because it brightens up the under eye, but it'll give me a little bit more youthful look if I can keep some of that glowiness. So here is the final, well, not final, we still got to do highlight. Highlight. Okay. So I do like this lavender Fenty Beauty, and I also like the Hourglass as well. It just, you got to know what these things do and what's good and what's not. But this is still a great one. All right, let's find. I'm gonna try the Natasha Denona highlighter. Just this one. This is a baked highlight formula, and I do feel like with this, that I really need to kind of like dig in and press this baked one. I love this compact. Second time I bought it because I used it up. But the highlight, it looks darker, and that's why I wanted to show it to you. It looks darker in pan than it does on the skin. It's actually quite beautiful. Yeah, it's such a pretty, pretty highlight, and it blends seamlessly. It's called in here Glow Impact Powder. I don't know if she sells this separately, but it's fabulous. Okay, now we have a complete look. The last thing I'm going to do is just spray it. I got this little sample from Sephora. It is a translucent pure setting spray, and it's a hydrating spray. So we're going to try this. I think I tried it once and it splattered all over my face. So I expect it's probably going to do that again. It doesn't have a good sprayer. But yeah, it's got a terrible sprayer. That's so bad. That's like a terrible, terrible sprayer on that. I wouldn't get it because of that. Like, I know it's a sample size, but if you're going to cheap out on the sample size, nobody's going to buy the big one. It doesn't matter how great the product is in here if the sprayer sucks. So that's Laura Mercier. That would be my recommendation to them, is to get a better sprayer in this. I mean, it can't be that much to get a good sprayer. That one comes out in streams. All right, I will be back. I'm going to go ahead and do my hair. Some pictures of this at the end. I will do a full review with multiple looks of this as well. I just wanted to make sure I got something up for you because it's been so long. So stay tuned. The final look and pictures are coming. Want some of this? This is how beautiful it is after I blow dry my hair. Okay, friends, this is the final look. Just to share with you what I have on my lips. I had the liner is a Pat McGrath liner, and this is called Living Legend by Pat McGrath. And then on my lips, I have the Strawberry Shortcake Glam Light lipstick. I don't think there was like it's just in the Strawberry Shortcake collection. That's what the lip is. It's a really beautiful neutral. I showed you guys what was on my face, but my foundation that I used was I gotta find where I the top of this is, but Haus Labs Triclone Serum, I think, Skin Tech Foundation, and I don't know if I can see the color I have. Let's see, 220 light, medium, warm. Light, medium, warm. So, and it does have a little bit of a peachy tone to it, which was a good color for my skin, so really like that. And then for bronzer, I used the cream bronzer in the color Amber by the ABH Cosmetics. So that was what I had on when I came on. So, all right, stay tuned. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to show you or give you kind of my final thoughts on what I think about this palette and what you can do with it, what it's good for, what it's not. And then I'll show you the final. There'll be some pictures set to music with some close-ups of this eye. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, my friends, let's talk about the my final thoughts about this palette. First of all, let's talk about the packaging. So it is her traditional packaging for the midi size. It has a beautiful large size mirror, which I need to clean mine. But it's got a nice mirror, and the mirror is strong. It stands up on its own. It's not a floppy mirror, which is nice if you just want to take this and you know, like if you're traveling and somebody else is in the bathroom, like your partner, you can just use this. It's really nice. The other thing about the package, sorry about that, my one leg was just on my tripod because Grayson kind of broke it. Anyway, so the other thing that's nice about this is you can take a little pin and pop out the shadows and reconfigure them in here if you want, or like if you want another, maybe you have a couple favorite shades from Natasha Denona from other packages, other midi sizes, you can move them in and out of here if you want. So you can create and make the palette your own. You know, maybe you like the peach side or maybe you like the pink side and you want to move these somewhere else. So you can kind of create your own palettes. So even though they're all monochrome, they just know that her midis all do have that. Also, the packaging on the front is her own artwork. One thing that I noticed, which I didn't think of until after, and I'm surprised she didn't launch it with it. So there was a launch already with her Bloom and Glow, Bloom and Glow palette, which I'll put right here for you. And it's really a great complement to this. I wish I had used it today. I did use a beautiful peachy pink, and I used a highlighter from her other one. I think it was her Love Cheek palette. But I have the other one, and I should have used that because that would have been perfect. And I don't know why that wasn't like sold with this or promoted with this, because it's a really nice compliment. And I think it could have been a bundle for her and another way to make money if somebody wanted the whole shebang, you know. But instead, she rolled it out. I'll put a picture here of everything with like the High Glam cheek duos, which I did not get those. I don't have those. I may get those in the future, but I don't need them right now. So anyway, I was surprised that she didn't launch that with this when I kind of realized, oh, that's called Bloom and Glow, and this is the Bloom palette. When you kind of want to say like, hey, there's a special on this, let's put those together and let people buy both if they don't have them. Or if they have them, you can buy this separately, you know. Anyway, so just my thoughts on that. And as far as the shades go, you do get 15 shades. There were, what, eight mattes and 7 shimmers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shimmers. One being a duochrome, which you can see is a softer shade tone. There is really not a dud in here. What I would say is it's too repetitive between these 3 shades. This one is good for like kind of blending out that top line, but this one and this one both didn't need to be in here. This is my favorite. I use this more. I would say get rid of the Keen. I would have replaced that. I would have also put a darker brown in here. And then the shade in here that's the toughest to use is probably this one. This is crisp, and it's so pretty though. And it's a little bit more flaky, and there's not much pigment to this. You know, it's just like a wash of color. Really pretty to put over another color. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I go in with the color Wren, okay? Let me just get a good little swatch here of Wren. Wren's got more of the pinky tone to it. And then go over it with Crisp. You're going to see Crisp show up, so you can barely see it there, but you put it over a shade and you're going to transform that shade some. This, I found like a brush works pretty good, but otherwise you got to kind of dig in there. But then you can get different shades of your matte to kind of look like a shimmer. And that's stunning. Isn't that beautiful? So that's a great way to use it. So if you lay something all over your lid and then put the shade on top, beautiful. Also, Morgan Turner did do a look where she just put that beautiful shade, and she even said like that shade was difficult to use. You got to press it in. It can be flaky, but the more I've used it, the less flaky it is. It was more flaky when I got it than it is right now. I also do wish that the Equinox shade had a little bit more pop. It is one of my favorites in here still. It's a stunning but gentle shade. They all blend so beautifully. Her mattes is a beautiful butter formula we're used to. The other thing is I don't use both of these. I like this one better than this one. This is more like the orangey one, and this is more the pinky one. You can see it's got a bigger dip because I use it more. I think we could have used something else here that I don't really like this color, but that's my personal opinion and you might love it, right? So overall, is it a good palette? It absolutely is a great palette. I would recommend it. It is made in Italy. You get high quality shadows that blend beautifully. So you're getting that premium quality shadows with this palette, with all of her palettes really, but you're not paying the price you're paying for like Pat McGrath, who's a lot of her bigger palettes, like the new one that just came out, are also from Italy, but you're paying $128, where this is 15 shades for $65. She's giving you 10 shades for $128. So value-wise, I would go Natasha Denona, and consistency with the formulas, I would also say Natasha Denona. I would say that Pat McGrath at one point was my absolute favorite, but they've moved down in ranking for me over the last couple of years, coming out with things that were just repeats and new packaging. They're not being innovative with the packaging. Their Bloom palette is a beautiful color story. I'm going to talk about that in another video, and I've got like a 5-look video that I'm editing and getting ready for you guys. But I would say if you're looking for the highest quality shadow for your money, go with Natasha Denona. You can find this, I think, on Beautylish, Ulta, Sephora. I have a code. I got to figure it out. It's different. I know some of you had been able to benefit from using my code and getting 15% off. They changed the influencer thing, and they went to something, I think, Shop app or whatever, and I am having some issues with it. So if I can link this, I will, and that should give you 15% off if you want to try it out. And again, 15% is a decent amount off. So, and I think Sephora might have a sale going on right now too. So overall, I think it is wonderful. There was no new formulations in this, but there were new shades in this. So I hope that you guys liked the video and enjoyed the content. Let me know, and I will show you the pictures at the end, and I will see you in the next video. I hope that you would like to subscribe and be part of our Southern Yankee Beauty channel. And I also do have a Southern Yankee channel, which is gardening vlogs, lifestyle vlogs, fashion vlogs, a little bit of everything. In fact, I'm getting ready to do a daily look unboxing and try on, and I'll be filming that, and that'll be the next video going up on the main channel, Southern Yankee. And then you can find me on TikTok at Southern Yankee 15. Sorry, Southern Yankee, is it 1215? I don't know. I'll put it on the screen. I think Instagram is Southern Yankee 15. Email me, tag me in new products, things you want to see, at terrykubicki@yahoo.com, although that might be changing very soon. And what else? Oh, I do have a VIP sort of Facebook group page. I will have that in the description box. Just click on the title. There's a little arrow that says more or something. Click on that. It pulls the description box down, and I will have that, and you can join our Facebook group page. You will be the first to be notified when I do post a new video. And sometimes there's some behind the scenes things. Sometimes there's like, hey, which thumbnail do you like better? Different stuff. And sometimes there's just some fun personal stuff in there that we share. I also do Scentsy and Park Lane, and so there's a lot in there for those things too. I don't bombard you with it though. I'm just so chill about it. If you want to buy something from Scentsy or Park Lane, do so. If not, no biggie. These might be Park Lane earrings. I can't remember. And anyway, so I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, friends.
You say that I'm psychotic, but then you like it like that. It's like every time the conversation changes and I want you